Good day, learners. Today we continue with Knowledge Topic 3, where I will guide you through the practical warehouse operations that you perform daily as receiving and dispatch clerks. This session focuses on how procedures, controls, safety, and professional behavior ensure that the warehouse runs efficiently, safely, and accurately. By the end of today's lesson, you must be able to clearly explain the following outcomes to anyone. 1. You must be able to explain why standard operating procedures exist and how they create consistency, safety, and accuracy in daily warehouse work. 2. You must be able to describe the receiving process step by step and explain the purpose of each activity performed when stock arrives. 3. You must be able to describe the dispatch process step by step and explain how correct picking, packing, and documentation protect customer service. 4. You must be able to explain how stock control methods keep inventory accurate and prevent losses. 5. You must be able to explain how safety, housekeeping, and professionalism protect both employees and the company's assets. Let us begin by understanding why warehouse procedures are necessary in the first place. I explained that a warehouse must operate using clear procedures because it handles valuable stock and many daily movements. Without procedures, mistakes and losses increase quickly. When every worker follows the same process, tasks become consistent and predictable, which makes it easier to control quality and reduce errors. When procedures are followed correctly, stock losses and theft are reduced because every movement is recorded and traceable. When processes are standardized, training new employees becomes easier because everyone learns the same method. When proper procedures are followed, the company can prove compliance during audits or inspections because documentation shows that correct steps were taken. If procedures are ignored, confusion occurs, stock goes missing, customers receive wrong goods, and the business loses money. Now let us focus on the receiving process, which is the first control point in the warehouse. I explained that receiving is critical because it is the point where the company first accepts responsibility for stock. This is the moment when ownership transfers from the supplier to the business. From this point forward, the company becomes financially responsible for that stock. If mistakes happen during receiving, those mistakes do not stay in receiving. They follow the stock throughout the entire warehouse process. For example, if incorrect quantities are accepted and captured on the system will show stock that does not physically exist. This leads to picking errors later. Customers may place orders for items that the system says are available, but physically there is not enough stock. This results in back orders, delays, customer complaints, and possible loss of trust. When I check delivery documentation against the purchase order, I confirm that the supplier delivered exactly what the company ordered and prevent accepting incorrect goods. When I physically count quantities, instead of trusting paperwork, I ensure that the numbers captured on the system reflect the true amount received. When I inspect goods for damages or defects, I protect the company from paying for stock that cannot be sold to customers. When I verify product codes and descriptions, I prevent wrong items from entering the warehouse and causing confusion during picking. When I capture information immediately on the system, I keep inventory records accurate in real time so other departments can trust the data. When I label stock clearly and store it in the correct location, I make it easier to find later and reduce time wasted searching for items. When I complete all checks before signing documents, I protect the company legally because signing confirms that the goods were accepted in good condition. After goods are stored safely, the next major activity is dispatching them to customers. I explained that dispatch is the last opportunity to check accuracy before goods leave the warehouse. Errors at this stage directly affect customers. 1. When I read the customer order carefully, I understand exactly what products and quantities are required so that I do not pick the wrong items. 2. When I pick stock according to item codes and descriptions, I reduce the risk of sending incorrect products to customers. 3. When I recount quantities before packing, I prevent shortages or oversupply that could lead to complaints. 4. When I inspect goods again for damage, I ensure that customers receive items in good condition. 5. When I pack goods securely using appropriate materials, I protect them from damage during transport. 6. When I label cartons clearly with correct addresses and references, I help transporters deliver goods to the right destination without delays. 7. When I prepare delivery notes and invoices correctly, I ensure that the company can charge customers and receive payment. 8. When I perform a final verification before loading, I confirm that everything matches the order and avoid costly returns. Now let us talk about stock control and why accurate inventory is essential. I explained that dispatch is the final control point before goods leave the warehouse. This means it is the last opportunity we have to check that everything is correct before the customer receives the order. Once stock leaves the warehouse, correcting mistakes becomes more difficult, more expensive, and more damaging to the company's reputation. I want you to understand this clearly. Receiving protects the company at the beginning. Dispatch protects the company at the end. When I read the customer order carefully, I understand exactly what products and quantities are required so that I do not pick the wrong items. When I pick stock according to item codes and descriptions, I reduce the risk of sending incorrect products to customers. When I recount quantities before packing, I prevent shortages or oversupply that could lead to complaints. When I inspect goods again for damage, I ensure that customers receive items in good condition. When I pack goods securely using appropriate materials, I protect them from damage during transport. When I label cartons clearly with correct addresses and references, I help transporters deliver goods to the right destination without delays. When I prepare delivery notes and invoices correctly, I ensure that the company can charge customers and receive payment. When I perform a final verification before loading, I confirm that everything matches the order and avoid costly returns. Now let us talk about stock control and why accurate inventory is essential. I explained that stock control ensures we always know what stock we have and where it is located. Without it, planning and customer service become impossible. When every product has a fixed bin location, staff can find items quickly and reduce time wasted searching. When items are clearly labeled, picking errors decrease because products are easy to identify. When regular cycle counts are performed, small discrepancies are detected early before they become large problems. When full stock takes are conducted periodically, the company confirms that system records match the physical stock. When the FIFO method is used, older stock is sold first, which prevents expiry and reduces waste. When all stock movements are recorded immediately, inventory information stays accurate and reliable for decision making. Let us now focus on safety and housekeeping, which protect both people and products. I explained that safety rules exist to prevent injuries and protect both employees and stock. When walkways are kept clear and clean, the risk of slips, trips, and falls is greatly reduced. When goods are stacked correctly and securely, they are less likely to collapse and cause injuries or damage. When protective equipment such as gloves or safety shoes is worn, workers are protected from common workplace hazards. When machinery and forklifts are operated according to rules, accidents and collisions are prevented. When hazards are reported immediately, problems can be fixed before someone gets hurt. When the warehouse is clean and organized, work becomes faster, safer, and more efficient for everyone. Finally, let us discuss the professional behavior expected from every receiving and dispatch clerk. I explained that attitude and behavior are just as important as technical skills in the workplace. When you arrive on time and prepared for work, operations start smoothly without delays. When you follow instructions carefully, you reduce mistakes and increase reliability. When you communicate clearly with supervisors and team members, problems are solved faster. When you take responsibility for mistakes and correct them quickly, you show honesty and professionalism. E. When you handle stock with integrity, you protect company assets and build trust. When you pay attention to detail in every task, you prevent small errors from becoming large losses. Now let us summarize today's learning. Today we discussed warehouse procedures, receiving, dispatch, stock control, safety, and professionalism. Remember that every action you take affects the company's stock, money, and customer satisfaction. Working carefully and professionally ensures that the warehouse operates smoothly and successfully. See you at the next learning session.